Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a video we have today. I know y'all see that title. Yeah, buddy. I hope everybody is blessed, well, and healthy. That you are having a great day, week, month. That 2025 is going well for you and your family. And no matter what time you're watching this or you come across a video like this, you know, but what a time to be alive in this world, man. What a time to be alive, especially in America. And I even read one of the top comments saying, boy, RFK Jr. has a lot on his hands. But this title reads, don't order burgers in these 8 chains. They're not 100% beef. Yeah. And y'all know how it is, how it's been in the food industry and the food and all the new stuff that has come out these last couple of years. And they come out with all kind of stuff, and now they're saying, really, after all the reports and seeing people with diagnosis and this and that, the cancer, everything that is spiked up, and what's taking place especially in this country, it's like everybody's saying nothing's healthy for us. Nothing. Even a bottle of water, they say the plastic, is killing us now. Like everything is killing us. Anything you touch is killing us. If you eat a hot dog, it takes 3 to 5 days off your lifespan if you eat a hot dog. And I know them Patriots love that hot dog with that chili and cheese, that mustard, throw them onions on there. Them Patriots throw that relish on there, Yeah. But they say nothing is healthy now. Yeah, buddy. But I want to send a huge shout out to Tina for sending this to me to check out and react to on today's show. Let's go and jump in. This is coming from Discovery Globe Collapse. Oh boy, let's go and put this in full reaction, full screen mode. And I'm just re-looking at some of the comments. Buy from local farmers and cook your own food is the only way. And someone says, I stopped eating fast food 26 years ago. I'm glad I did. Wow. They say if it's fake, it should be banned. When Dave passed away, the standards did too. When Dave passed away, standards did too. Apparently, Wendy's standards have dropped dramatically since Dave passed away. Here in Ohio, I used to work for the company that processed all the meat for Wendy's and Taco Bell. That was in the 80s. Very strict standards back then. Yeah. And fun fact, you guys, my first job ever, and I was proud of this job. I rolled up in my Toyota Tacoma that my dad gave me. Rest in peace to Rick Sr. He died at 57 years old on the way to work. Rest in peace to my dad, man. And I always tell you guys, take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. Go, do what you got to do. Eat healthy. Go on walks. Go sit in the sauna. Do this. Go, drink this. Eat this. Please take care of yourself. Take your vitamins. And now they say the vitamins that they're making now is. But I rolled up in my Toyota Tacoma to this job and I was proud. Taco Bell. Some of y'all might know that because I told you guys about that a couple of times in old videos, But Taco Bell was my first job, and it wasn't my last job in the food industry. Y'all know I've done it all, And I see why people run away from the food industry. If it's really not something for you, you're not gonna like it. I was in there sweating. The first thing they made me do was pull the trash and put the meat packets in the steamer, in the water steamer. It comes in meat packets, meat slabs. Like you would think the way it looks is like it's not actual beef. Like it looks yeah. Yeah. So my first job was Taco Bell. Yeah, buddy. And I was proud of that, man. You know, very, very proud. Let's go and get into this. These don't order burgers in these 8 chains. They're not 100% beef. Let me stop all this talking. Let's jump in.
But what if that bite... They call it just a burger. But what if that bite you trust could betray you? What if the patty sitting in that shiny wrapper isn't even real beef, but a lab-made mix of soy fillers, chemical binders, and scraps scraped off bones in foreign processing plants? In 2023,
oh boy,
the USDA documented over 500 violations tied to tainted or undercooked ground beef, many from the very chains Americans trust the most. And here's the gut punch. Some of these patties contained less than 60% beef. The rest cheap additives designed to fool your taste buds while draining your health.
Some of y'all just went through that drive-through today, huh? Some of y'all watching this just went through that drive-through today. Look, I'm just being real. I know, you know, we're human. We're human. So I know we're human. We're sinners, you know, and a quick bite to eat, them pages work hard. I was just in the drive-through line not long ago too myself. I admit it. I admit it. They say, Rick, stop eating that fast food. Stop eating that fast food. And I'm in the country now. We actually have a lot of local farms around here. A lot of amazing farms around here. I'm in the country, so.
Older Americans already fighting high blood pressure, heart issues, or diabetes.
Yep.
One bad burger isn't just lunch, it's a potential hospital trip, another round of medication, or worse. So why are these companies still smiling at you from billboards while gambling with your health? This is the Downturn Report, where the truth gets personal. Today, we expose 8 burger chains still feeding millions every day with something they dare to call beef. Let's begin. Number 1, Checkers and Rallies. It's funny how some places wrap themselves in the glow of nostalgia, like an aging actor still insisting on playing the teenage heartthrob. Checkers and Rallies does just that, draping itself in shiny chrome, bold racing stripes, and loudspeakers blasting promises of crazy good food, as if noise alone could drown out the truth. The image is pure Americana with fast cars, cheap thrills, and a burger in hand. But if you take even one step past that glossy facade, the smell of reality hits harder than burnt grease. And here's the question that should keep anyone awake at night. If the kitchen floors could talk, would you still be hungry? In the year 2022, Baltimore health inspectors padlocked the doors after finding rodent droppings scattered everywhere, like some twisted game of connect the dots. Floors, prep stations, and even bun storage areas were contaminated, turning the very heart of the kitchen into a playground for disease. Refrigerators were broken. Meat sat in the danger zone sweating under heat lamps. And uncovered food waited like it was being slow cooked in its own bacteria. Picture that with a side of fries. For older folks or anyone whose health isn't what it used to be. This is such a huge gamble, and the house always wins. And before anyone shrugs this off as just Baltimore, let's talk numbers. In 2023, Checkers and Rallies managed to collect more than 80 health violations stretching from Georgia to Missouri. 80 times. Inspectors stepped in and said, "This isn't safe," but the grease traps stayed clogged, the burgers kept flipping, and the cash registers kept singing. One whistleblower in Tampa confessed that rancid patties were simply coated with extra seasoning and sent right back out, like spraying cologne on roadkill and calling it dinner. In Louisiana,
they really do this stuff, man. I know we had one employee we had to seriously let go when I was a manager at the burger joint. You know, they were like, you know, they have this term where you put where heat kills germs and stuff, and the patty fell on the floor. And they just put it back on the grill and just put flame juice back on it and heat it back up. And they say, "Oh, it's just fine." I said, Yeah. I've had multiple food industry jobs and working inside restaurants and customer service. I have a huge resume. As a 25-year-old, yes, I have a huge resume. I know a lot of y'all probably already know that. And I've had my experiences, man. You know. So this stuff doesn't surprise me.
Louisiana. Someone filmed an employee rinsing utensils in a mop sink because nothing says fresh like last night's floor water. And those big, showy burgers that so-called Big Buford packs nearly 800 calories of low-grade beef scraps.
Big Buford.
Preservatives banned in parts of Europe, and sodium levels high enough to make a doctor wince. Investigators found that as much as 30% of their beef comes from trimming so cheap your dog might sniff them before deciding it's not worth the trouble. All this while, the company continues to shout slogans that sound more like a bad joke than a promise. Then there's how they treat the very people stuck making these so-called meals. In 2021, a Mississippi franchise got slapped with fines after underage workers were caught at the fryers. A 65-year-old woman reported back-to-back shifts without overtime, as if exhaustion were just part of the uniform. And in 2024, a former district manager admitted franchisees were trained to push borderline meat with the phrase, "If it smells okay, sell it anyway." That's not fast food, it's a coin toss served with a sesame seed bun.
Sell it anyway.
So why risk it when there are better choices? Hop Dottie Burger Bar in the Southwest serves hormone-free beef with house-made sauces that actually taste like something cooked by a human being, not by a machine running on autopilot. Farm Burger in the Southeast focuses on pasture-raised meat in kitchens so open and spotless, you almost feel like they're daring you to look. Because if Checkers and Rallies is still pretending to be the cool kid at the drive-in, it's time someone told it the truth. Your gut is tired of paying the price for cheap nostalgia. Number 2, Wendy's. Wendy's almost like an old neighbor who waves from his porch every...
This is like one of my favorite joints, especially being a kid. Our dad used to take us here, man. You know, good times. I think they were still doing like the yellow packaging when we were getting... Y'all remember the yellow packaging? And then like I think a year or two after I forgot what age we were, but they stopped doing it. Yeah. Good times, man. It's like everything now has turned to... Yeah, Trump was right. Everything now has woke. All of these companies and went woke, and I'll tell you, people and they say after Dave passed away, it completely just went down immediately. Boy, back in the day used to be some good times, man. Now things are just getting worse and worse and worse. But we used to love Wendy's Frosties. The Frosties and the chili. Hey, the Frosties and the chili, only the real ones know. Only the real ones that's watching right now know what I'm talking about. Hey, only the real ones know, man. Yeah.
The evening, reassuring you that everything's fine. Grandpa Dave's warm smile, the pigtail-wearing cartoon girl, and those homely slogans, old-fashioned hamburgers. Fresh, never frozen paint a picture of honest Midwestern comfort. It sells the idea that you're eating something wholesome, something made with care. But peel back that folksy charm, and what you find isn't kindness or care. Loud, how much of that homey promise is just marketing fairy dust sprinkled over industrial shortcuts. Take that famous fresh, never frozen line. It sounds good enough to print on a family recipe card, but in reality, it's closer to a punchline. In 2022, a class action lawsuit in New York accused Wendy's of false advertising, with evidence showing that plenty of beef patties are frozen during shipment and storage, especially at franchise locations far from supply hubs. Leaked supplier documents even admitted that frozen shipments were routine for East Coast markets. So unless you live in Ohio, where Wendy's headquarters sits like a self-policing sheriff, your fresh burger might have taken a frosty vacation before hitting the grill. Fresh may be in commercials. For the rest of us, good luck. And what happens when supplies run thin? Corners get cut, and those cuts get served on a bun. Whistleblowers in multiple states admitted that workers were told to reheat leftover patties from earlier shifts. In one viral TikTok from 2023, later deleted under company pressure. An employee from Ohio filmed herself spritzing...
They are doing it. They are doing that, I'm telling you. It's come out so many times.
Dried out patties with water before microwaving them for dinner orders. Her caption nailed it. This ain't fresh, it's Frankenstein. Hard to argue with that when your burger squeaks like a wet sponge, even when it's technically fresh. Wendy's manages to serve you something your doctor might call a health scare disguised as lunch. Consumer Advocacy Watchdog ranked it among the worst national chains for sodium content in 2024. With some burgers packing over 1,200 milligrams, enough to make your blood pressure monitor beep like a car alarm. The Baconator. That glorified heart attack in a wrapper. delivers 63 grams of fat and close to 1,500 calories when paired with fries and a drink. That's not a meal. That's a slow-motion ambulance ride waiting for an excuse. And don't be fooled by the "we care" image. In 2023, a Texas franchisee was fined $120,000 for wage theft after employees, 2 of them over 65, were forced to work unpaid overtime. One woman who dared to report it to HR was fired at Wendy's. Care isn't about people. It's about keeping quiet while flipping another patty. Ethics. Let's just say the braids on that cartoon girl don't hide much. Wendy's is still the only major fast food chain refusing to sign the Fair Food Program, matter more than the human beings who pick them. Many of those workers are elderly and undocumented, breaking their backs for the tomatoes Wendy's calls premium. So, the next time you see Grandpa Dave's smiling face on your soda cup, ask yourself, is that really a symbol of quality, or just a mask covering freezer-burned beef, microwaved leftovers, exploited workers, and a sodium count that could rattle your chest like a loose engine belt? It doesn't have to be this way. Shake Shack is serving antibiotic-free Angus beef in open kitchens where you can watch every step, while the Habit Burger Grill on the West Coast char grills each burger to order with fresh produce that doesn't need a fine print health warning, because at Wendy's, the only square thing might be the patty, everything else spins in a perfectly round loop of frozen deception and corporate doublespeak. Number 3, Carl's Jr. and Hardee's. Carl's Jr. and Hardee's love to play the rebel, strutting around like the leather jacket wearing bad boys of the burger world. Loud commercials, roaring guitar
Carl's
riffs,
Jr.
and burger.
The ones over here didn't all. I think all of them went out of business and shut down. We had one close by, but it shut down though. I don't know, man.
They're so big they look like they belong in a strongman competition. It's all part of the show. They want you to think you're biting into a rock concert on a bun, that every greasy bite is some kind of victory over boring, healthy food. But when the music stops and the rappers hit the trash, what's left isn't rebellion at all. It's neglect, corner cutting, and a system so careless it makes you wonder if you're just another pawn in their greasy game. Ask yourself, this is your health really worth being part of their act? Let's start with the oil, though calling it oil might be generous. A 2023 investigation by Restaurant Insider Weekly revealed that multiple Carl's Jr. and Hardee's locations in the South and Midwest reused their fryer oil for up to 7 days straight.
Oh boy.
Industry standard 2, maybe 3 days. After that, oil turns into a toxic swamp, full of cancer-linked chemicals like acrylamide, which soak right into those hand-breaded chicken sandwiches and onion rings. One Kansas worker even joked that the fryer oil was darker than my coffee, but fries still went in as if nothing were wrong.
Oh boy.
Funny thing is, burnt motor oil and fried food shouldn't taste the same, but apparently, here, it's all part of the flavor profile. And then there's the beef, the so-called crown jewel of their thick burgers. Those massive patties might look like steakhouse quality, but dig deeper and you'll find the shine wears off fast. USDA import records show that part of their beef comes from Australia and South America, where hormones face looser regulations and oversight barely exists. In 2022, Safetable.org had 8 Carl's Jr. burgers tested by a third-party lab. 2 showed ractopamine levels above U.S. legal limits, a feed additive banned in more than 150 countries because of its risks to human health. And what did the company do? No recall, no apology, just silence smothered under layers of cheese and marketing spin. Step behind the counter and things get even worse. Hardee's locations in Tennessee and North Carolina were cited in both 2021 and 2023 for failing to refrigerate raw meat properly, keeping cooked patties in warming drawers for over 4 hours, and allowing workers to skip basic hand washing. The FDA has warned for years that meat stored above 40 degrees Fahrenheit for more than 2 hours becomes a breeding ground for Clostridium perfringens, an infection particularly dangerous for older adults. Yet here, it's just another Tuesday, with a ticking time bomb slipped quietly between 2 buns.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
And let's not forget the people flipping those patties. In 2023, a 73-year-old prep cook in West Virginia slipped on a greasy floor during a solo night shift, broke her wrist, and still wasn't allowed to leave until the lunch rush was over. Workers talk about pulling back-to-back shifts with no overtime, single mothers juggling unpredictable hours without childcare, and elderly employees forced to endure double shifts just to keep up. The slogan may scream rebellion, but behind it are exhausted people treated like disposable parts in a profit machine. Even the marketing feels like a bad joke stuck in the wrong decade. All that hypersexualized bravado might sell to teenage boys. But to the working class families actually buying these burgers, it's nothing but a distraction. Bacon and testosterone don't make meat better. They just hide the rot under a shiny wrapper. You don't need to play along. BurgerFi serves grass-fed Angus beef cooked in an open kitchen where you can actually see what you're paying for. And Culver's in the Midwest offers fresh, locally sourced meat and real dairy, with a spotless record that doesn't read like a health inspector's horror story. Because eating should feel like taking care of yourself, not like playing roulette with your immune system. At Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, they call it rebellion. But the only thing truly getting grilled here might be your health. Number 4, Burger King.
Oh, Burger King.
Biting into a Burger King Whopper these days feels less like eating and more like being tricked by a magician who's bad at hiding his cards. The bun is warm. The smoky scent whispers promises of backyard barbecues. And for a split second, you believe it until that strange aftertaste creeps in. The kind that makes you pause and wonder, what exactly am I chewing? Burger King loves to play the brash underdog, shouting about crowns, cheap combos, and letting you have it your way. But here's the cruel punchline: your way might just mean taking whatever corporate sleight of hand they slip into the wrapper and pretending it's still food. Take the beef, or rather, the thing they're calling beef. Consumer Reports tested patties from 5 different states and uncovered a greasy truth that would make even your dog hesitate. Over half of what's inside isn't pure beef at all, but a cheap cocktail of soy fillers, textured vegetable protein, artificial flavoring, and, in some samples, traces of mechanically separated meat. Think about that. What's being marketed as flame-grilled beef is closer to a meat-flavored science project molded into a circle. It's a Halloween costume for protein, wearing a mask it can't quite keep on, and that famous flame-grilled taste more like smoke and mirrors. In Florida, Arizona, and Michigan, ex-employees have leaked photos of broilers so caked with grease they looked fossilized, some with cockroach shells wedged between the burners. A viral photo from Jacksonville in 2024 showed patties rolling across metal belts dusted with insect residue. To make matters worse, those trademark grill marks often just heat patterns from reheating machines, not real fire. So when they say flame grilled, maybe they mean a flame once existed in the same building, long ago. The horror show doesn't stop at the grill. In 2022, health inspectors shut down a Minneapolis location after finding mold-covered lettuce and meat sitting at unsafe temperatures. A year later, the CDC traced an E. coli outbreak to contaminated ground beef and greens from one of Burger King's Midwest suppliers. Their response: no public apology. No recall, just quiet supplier swaps. Like shuffling greasy chess pieces and hoping no one noticed the checkmate against customers' health. And then there's how they treat the people stuck behind those counters. A ProPublica investigation in 2021 revealed that older workers were forced to endure blistering heat during rush hours, denied basic breaks, and humiliated by managers. One 71-year-old employee in Ohio collapsed from dehydration next to the fryer, left alone, no air conditioning, no help. Burger King's response: silence louder than any Crown-themed jingle they've ever blasted on TV. And what about what ends up in your body? A single Whopper meal delivers more than 1,300 milligrams of sodium and nearly 70 grams of carbohydrates, numbers that stalk aging bodies like wolves wrapped in paper. To Burger King, salt and cheap deals sell better than honesty, and if your blood pressure pays the price, that's just business as usual. But you don't have to play along with this royal illusion. On the West Coast, Burgerville serves antibiotic-free, grass-fed beef and produced straight from local farms, where the growers actually have names and faces. If you're on the East Coast, Bear Burger lays out every ingredient clearly, daring you to read because they have nothing to hide. Compared to Burger King's mystery meat masquerade, these places are rare reminders that a burger can still be food, not just a cheap magic trick in a sesame seed bun. Number 5, McDonald's.
I was like,
The Golden Arches.
McDonald's got to be on the list. It's like that. There's no way McDonald's is beating them allegations.
Are more than just a sign. They're stitched into American life like an old family quilt. For decades, they've been the stop on the way to work, the cheap birthday treat, the comfort food for the days when a few crumpled bills had to stretch far. Teachers, truckers, janitors, and grandparents all walked under those arches expecting the same thing: a hot, simple, reliable bite. But that bite has changed. Behind the cheerful ads and jingles is a machine that now feels less like a kitchen and more like a factory floor, where food is engineered for speed and cost, not care. The question no one likes to ask is the one that matters most. How much of what you're eating is still real food? Take the Quarter Pounder, for example. In 2023, Consumer Health Review worked with independent food scientists to test patties from 5 states. The results were a cold splash of reality beef content dropped as low as 51% in one sample. The rest replaced with maltodextrin, modified food starch, and sodium phosphate's cheap fillers designed to hold water and bulk up weight. McDonald swears by its 100% pure beef slogan. But that's a neat little trick. It refers only to the meat portion, not the patty as a whole, by the time it's mixed, shaped, and seasoned in centralized plants. It's closer to a science kit than a home-cooked burger. And that's not the only dirty secret. A late 2022 investigation by the Los Angeles Times revealed some McDonald's suppliers in California and Nebraska using mechanically separated beef, the scraps blasted off bones by high-pressure machines. Technically legal, but about as appetizing as licking the inside of an engine. In 2021, the USDA linked undercooked patties to salmonella outbreaks.
Did they ever get the investigation on them fries? Did they ever figure out about them French fries? McDonald's, and some of y'all go through the drive-thru, get them fries, and by the time you get back home, you be to ate every last one of them fries before you got back to the house. Hey, I know. Trust me, I know.
In Texas and Illinois. The response, no national recall, no apology, just quiet fixes, as if silence could erase the problem. Even daily practices show how far the chain has drifted from its promise of quality. Former employees from a dozen locations admitted to reusing patties that had sat in warming trays for up to 4 hours, while frozen buns in colder states were thawed in sinks full of lukewarm water. In 2023, a Minnesota franchise was cited for serving moldy lettuce and expired cheese that had been rebagged and redated in the back like bargain bin leftovers. The problems don't end at the food. A Reuters investigation in 2022 uncovered labor abuses at an Arkansas chicken processing facility supplying McDonald's. Elderly immigrant workers, many past 60, endured freezing warehouses, 10-hour shifts, minimal bathroom breaks, and wages barely above minimum. Under a logo worth trillions, the people keeping the system running are treated like disposable parts. And what you're eating, a standard Big Mac combo, carries over 1,100 calories, 45 grams of fat, and nearly 1,400 milligrams of sodium. For older Americans managing blood pressure, heart medications, and tight budgets, that combo isn't just lunch, it's a slow-moving health trap disguised as a deal. McDonald's wraps all of this in bright packaging, happy jingles, and the familiar smile of a painted clown. But nostalgia is a clever disguise, and behind that grin is a system cutting corners wherever it can, if you're ready to choose differently. Next Level Burger offers fresh plant-based patties made with organic, non-GMO ingredients, or head to Freddy's frozen custard and steak burgers, where beef is sourced locally, kitchens are cleaner, and meals don't come with a side of denial. Because when a clown smiles that wide for that long, maybe it's time to ask yourself, what's he really hiding behind the fryer number 6? Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box loves to play the clown of the fast food world quirky commercials, an all-night menu, and a mascot grinning like nothing bad ever happens under that big round head. But behind the jokes is a history that still makes health officials shudder. In 1993, the chain caused one of the deadliest fast food disasters in American history when undercooked burgers triggered an E. coli outbreak, killing 4 children and hospitalizing hundreds. You'd think a tragedy that devastating would change a company forever, but 3 decades later, the same old corners are still being cut, just wrapped in shinier packaging. In 2023, health inspectors cited multiple Jack in the Box locations for serving burgers below USDA safe temperatures. At one Phoenix store, employees cooked for 2 weeks with a broken thermometer, deciding doneness by color. Imagine betting your health on someone guessing whether pink meat is safe or not. Houston inspectors the same year discovered raw chicken stored next to leaking beef in cracked containers, turning the fridge into a petri dish for cross-contamination. A former manager's lawsuit from 2021 claimed corporate-pressured low-income area stores to reuse expired toppings, telling managers to make it stretch if supplies ran low, when cutting costs means risking sickness, what's really being served, dinner or danger? And then there's what's inside those patties. Lab tests from independent food safety groups showed their value burgers padded with soy protein, autolyzed yeast extract, and even trace amounts of silicon dioxide and anti-caking agent more at home in industrial powders than your lunch. Jack in the Box brags about flavor, but when a burger is closer to chemistry class than a grill, it's hard not to feel like the punchline of their own joke. Even if you dodge foodborne illness, the nutrition facts alone could knock you down. The ultimate cheeseburger clocks in at 820 calories and a staggering 1,740 milligrams of sodium, for seniors or anyone managing blood pressure and heart issues. That's not a meal, it's a ticking time bomb tucked inside a sesame seed bun. And yet, the chain keeps selling late-night combo deals like they're doing you a favor. What makes it worse is the attitude. The mascot smiles, the ads crack jokes, and the company banks on nostalgia to keep customers laughing while ignoring the risks. But there are better choices. Smashburger grills fresh Angus beef with fewer additives and an open kitchen policy, while Farmer Boy sources local ingredients and handles them like they're actually meant to be eaten. Because sometimes, what's in the box really should stay there sealed, forgotten, and far away from your plate. Number 7. White Castle. White Castle loves...
We don't have nothing over here. Yeah, we don't have one over here. You know. But we've had it a couple times, and then, you know, they also sell the White Castle in the stores. But yeah, anytime when we travel, we try to just try. I've only had it like 3 or 4 times, the actual place. Like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. But they sell the chicken ring things in the store, in the sliders in the Walmart. Let me know. Y'all like White Castle? Let me know. And yeah, but we don't have none out here though.
To sell nostalgia in a cardboard box, tiny sliders stacked like childhood memories, steaming gently as if they were made with care. But the truth under that soft bun is far less charming. Those burgers aren't grilled fresh. They're reheated factory-made blends, flash frozen, shipped in bulk, and stored for months before ever touching a steamer. In 2023, Meat Processing Journal exposed that White Castle's beef suppliers are the same ones serving prisons and institutional cafeterias, where cost trumps quality every time. Even the signature onions aren't fresh. They're usually dehydrated flakes puffed back to life with steam, a clever trick to fool your eyes and nose. And the sanitation record hardly something to brag about. In 2022, White Castle racked up more than 70 health code violations across 6 states.
Oh boy.
One Cleveland location was caught with fly larvae crawling in a bun drawer, while whistleblowers admitted some staff were told to reuse old onions to save on food costs. Those soft buns that feel so comforting, packed with additives like datum and propionic acid, both linked by researchers to digestive inflammation, hardly the stuff you want sliding into your stomach. The chain's problems don't stop at the food. In 2021, White Castle settled a lawsuit after being accused of scanning employee fingerprints without proper consent, a reminder that their corporate shortcuts extend beyond the kitchen. And while the sliders look harmless, most people eat 4 to 6 in one sitting, stacking up dangerous levels of sodium and saturated fat. Nostalgia may feel warm, but it won't erase the risks hiding under those little square buns.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Sometimes, the smallest burgers can carry the biggest consequences. Number 8. Sonic Drive-In. Sonic Drive-In loves to sell itself as a blast from the past, a throwback to drive-ins, roller skates, and cherry limeades under the sun. But peel away the retro charm, and you're left with a system.
This was the spot though. We just liked the Sonic as for the slushies, especially when we was in high school. This was the spot to get a slushie at.
More interested in speed than safety. In 2023, former employees admitted that frozen patties were often microwaved to save time, then disguised with crisp lettuce to fake freshness. Inspectors in Missouri found slimy spinach and blackened lettuce sitting in storage, while a Louisiana customer discovered a beetle nestled in their burger. Sonic settled that incident quietly, as if silence could scrub the image from anyone's mind. The oil in their fryers tells another ugly story. Some franchises reused oil for more than 5 days straight, creating oxidized fats that researchers have linked to heart disease. In 2024, a lab in Alabama tested a random Sonic bun and found penicillium mold spores, hardly the kind of extra anyone wants in their meal. And the problems don't stop with food. In 2021, a Texas franchise was fined $75,000 after elderly employees were forced to work 10-hour outdoor shifts during a heat wave, with no proper breaks. The nostalgic vibe may feel warm, but what's behind it is cold. Calculated cost cutting. At Sonic, the only thing moving fast might be your appetite for an exit. The truth about these 8 chains isn't just about bad burgers, it's about trust sold cheap and health gambled away for profit. Every bite feels like a coin toss.
Take care of y'all.
And for many, the cost isn't just a few dollars.
They say eat at your local farm. Get your turmeric in, your ginger, you know, your herbs. I tell you. Yeah, go on your walks. Eat at your local farm. Yeah. I tell you, boy. What y'all think, man? Let me know in the comments, man. But please take care of y'allself. Take care of yourself. Do what you got to do. And hey, at the end of the day, we all end up in a box. So live your life. Enjoy your life. I love y'all. God bless you and your family. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love, you guys.